Alrighty, we are currently doing our last run here at Hakuba on the first day. This is like basically my second time snowboarding properly. Man, this is so much fun. Well, on the last lift up, just like looking around, I mean, like, it doesn't really get much better than this, does it? Look at the mountains over there. Super beautiful. We're really, really blessed to be in a position where we can just come snowboarding like this. I mean, I didn't do any of this stuff when I was a kid. I never went to like ski resorts, snow resorts. You know, I never had like tennis lessons or anything like that. And I remember seeing other kids being able to go on like ski holidays and stuff, and I just wondered, like, I wonder if I'll ever be able to do that. And you know, now we can, because we built some high value digital skill sets. This isn't like a plug or anything to like go and do that. I think it's just a message to the younger version of myself that if you keep pushing and if you don't quit, you will eventually succeed. I think that's the only way you can fail, is if you actually quit. I still remember when I was trying to start my first online business, and you know, I was selling like cat rings and trying to drop ship free plus shipping cat rings. And I was like, okay, I sell the cat ring for $0. I charge people $5 for shipping. The cat ring cost me $1. Therefore, I've got $4 to make profit on each order. Yeah, so make $4 profit per order. And I was like, okay, cool. Now I need to run ads to make sales for less than $4. If I sell like 100 cat rings a day, I can make like $400 a day profit. And when you don't know any better and you're just starting, that makes sense. And so you try to do it. I didn't have any mentors back then, and I failed miserably because I'd spend money on ads. I was making like $250 a week because I was working at the movie cinema at the time, right? I was picturing this life. I was picturing, how can I get out of here? How can I pay the rent for my mom and dad? How can I get to a level where I can go skiing and snowboarding wherever I want and bring, you know, a family and friends with us and do it? But I didn't know any better, right? So I tried. I would spend my whole paycheck every single week trying to run drop shipping ads. And I would be like running Facebook ads, sending people to a shitty built website that I didn't know how to build. And I would be getting purchases for like $100, right? So I'd spend $100 and I'd sell a $5 cat ring, which I only made $4 profit on. So I was losing heaps and heaps of money. I did that for months. And, you know, overall, I burnt money on that sort of stuff like 4 years. And through the mistakes and through the failures, that's when I learned the principles and the lessons that eventually enabled me to have some small amount of success and be able to hit $1 million in a month at 26, do you know? And obviously that's thanks to all the amazing customers and team that help us get there. But I wouldn't have gotten here if I didn't quit. Sorry, if I did quit, right? And so that's kind of the lesson from this video, is if you want to be having the lifestyle of doing things like this, which I did when I was younger, and you have no idea how to make it happen, you can make it happen if you are willing to learn the skills. And you can never like know how to do it or learn the skills in advance, or like you're never going to get the results in advance of committing fully to learn the skills. So 4 years, all my money every single week, looking at other families and people go on trips like this, I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. I said, one day my future self is going to thank me for the commitment and the time that I put in today to learn this stuff. And now if someone comes to me and they're starting their own business, or even if it's an existing company like an 8-figure dental practice or a chiropractic practice, whatever it is, because we've worked with so many of those different businesses, and I can give them feedback and advice on what marketing campaigns to run to scale their company and double their company and triple their business, or how to hire a better employees or keep better talent, because I made all the mistakes and I know every single way not to do it. Therefore, I know the way to do it by default. What everyone wants to do is they just want to skip to knowing the one way to do it successfully, but that's not how it actually works. Sure, if you have an amazing mentor, you'll get much closer to that, but then you still need to figure it out and mess it up. Like if you've got a mentor who teaches you how to parallel park in a car perfectly and says it to you, you then still have to actually try and do it, and you're going to mess it up a few times. So if you're in that early phase, like I was, and I still feel like I am in my early phase compared to where I want to be eventually, then you have to persist through those early phases and know that competence and confidence doesn't come from like, you know, manifesting it in advance. It comes from failing every single way you possibly can until you eventually find the right way to do it. And then you know how to do the right way to do it every single time for the rest of your life, because you tried all the other ways. So stop trying to skip out on those failures and those lessons. Instead, lean into them, embrace them, and know that if you're making new mistakes with a new skill set, you're eventually going to have a new lifestyle and a new result, not just for you, but for your friends and your family who also deserve it.